You could also tell just the way that he carries himself that he's not a rookie anymore. Just a lot more confident. His body looks more NBA ready. And I think he's had some really good moments, especially with Giannis in the game.
Hello and welcome. It's been a major point of discussion going into the regular season whether Day'Ron Sharpe is capable of holding down the backup center position or other options need to be called upon. Whilst I'm not going to put my life savings on it, I'm overly confident that Day'Ron Sharpe is going to be a breakout player for the Brooklyn Nets in his sophomore season. Whilst preseason isn't necessarily a strong gauge, he's shown positive and more consistent signs of providing meaningful and productive backup minutes. We'll be analysing the Nets' wins against the Timberwolves and the Bucks as starting points for analysis. Day'Ron's offensive game is strongly led by his P&R game as a roller. That was the primary source of his bucket getting in these preseason games. Not only are there a number of capable passers on the team to put Day'Ron in the best position to score, but he also gets in the right positions and executes well. Another thing Day'Ron has seemed to do well is get to the free throw line more often. More importantly, we saw consistency at the line in the most recent preseason game against the Timberwolves, which remains the next step for Sharpe, but that 5-for-5 performance seems to be pointing in the right direction. I want to shed light on the little things that he does to benefit his team. He shows intelligence well beyond his years. His court vision and awareness is exceptional. And so, we've seen some passing ability which we shouldn't take for granted and is extremely valuable, especially for someone of his size, especially with distributors and shooters everywhere on the roster. Day'Ron's made it a staple of his game to execute touch passes, no looks, bullet feeds, and more. Whilst he's not converting all of these, it's the aggressive nature in which he's trying them. And by doing this more often, he'll allow his game to expand and will become an all-round solid center. The thing that Day'Ron seems to have emphasized in the offseason is his mobility, and this has trickled off into impacting a number of categories positively. He's much more athletic on rebounds, on scoring at the basket, on committing to help defense, rim running, contesting shots with verticality, and has shown no fear in attempting to guard pretty much anyone from the outside. Day'Ron's evidently trimmed down in the offseason, and this has allowed him to seemingly make large strides in his development. The offensive rebounding attribute that's existed prior to his NBA career remains a constant. And for an offensively gifted team, the more opportunity he can give to the offense through his hustle, the better. Off the ball, as we previously mentioned, he is a team-first player. There will be plenty of instances where he'll be setting a valuable screen, which will almost always result in the opposing defense moving frantically to cover. The biggest question mark surrounding Day'Ron, and the hesitancy as to whether he'll play meaningful backup minutes, is whether he can hold his own against the best. The answer to that question with reference to these preseason games is yes. Yes, he can. He's had involvements in vertically contesting with Giannis, he's boxed out Rudy Gobert, and he's never felt intimidated by the competition. And he won't have to do this regularly. If he can hold out against these guys, it'll be no surprise if he can stop the likes of Montrezl Harrell or Andre Drummond or Kevon Looney. I think Day'Ron Sharpe has demonstrated that he can play the 15 to 20 minutes a night that the coaching staff is demanding, and in the process hold his own. It seems like he's developed an extensive skill set, which is exactly what the Nets need. That said, I'm not saying he's flawless. His jump shot hasn't really existed in the NBA, and that could clog the lane offensively on dribble drives. As a young player, he's prone to making mistakes, and potentially costly ones. Illegal screens, rash passes, poor positioning, none of or lackluster defensive rotation could exist, though I think that's all a part of his development. And I'd much rather see Day'Ron grow at the expense of a few mistakes, as opposed to getting a 33-year-old off the free agency market to play 10 minutes and be a complete liability. Let's not have another Jared Allen, DeAndre Jordan incident, please. That's all from me. Have a good one. We'll see you soon. Peace.